We're back, and we're going to talk with agencies now. We've just heard how the industry is changing, that the new role of agencies is that they're becoming more like a partner for companies, that they should have access at board level. And we're now going to talk with two gentlemen who work at agencies. Thanks so much for being here. Freek Bijl from eFocus. We know you from the expert panel. We've seen you on the videos already. And Franklin Heijnen from Deloitte Digital. Freek, you've been working at eFocus for 8 years now, right?
Yeah, I think you're counting better than I do, but 2008.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
so almost 8 years. What are the changes you've seen in these 8 years? How has the agency changed?
Okay, so starting as a digital agency, we created things that are on the side of the corporate venture. We work for brands, larger brands that became big brands in the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
So we did things. You can see them on the internet, but they weren't that important for their customer base or their business. And the big change that we saw the last couple of years is that the things that we do actually became more important to the end user and obviously to the business. So
Right.
our work has more impact and it's become more fun because more devices, etc., etc.
And we just heard from the three associations that that agencies have to get access at board level. Is that something you succeed in? Or do you agree? Let's start with that. Do you agree that
sorry.
you need board level access now as an agency? That there should be a creative director in the board, maybe?
I think it's important to have board level commitment and access helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Franklin, do you recognize that as well? Is it possible to get that board access, or are you still seen as the guys from the internet or marketing department?
No, especially at Deloitte Digital, we're a part of Deloitte, and Deloitte is a firm that has access to board level.
Okay.
What we see that nowadays, even in strategy projects, creativity and developing concepts becomes more important.
Right.
So not only to have a PowerPoint presentation or the great strategy, but also delivering the promise to the end user and showing what the end user will experience.
Okay.
So especially at board level of C-level, that's important.
And how do you? We just heard earlier that you should start slow and should start with a small project and then show the data to prove it. Is this also a strategy you're using with new clients?
Yeah, I think we try to do that because you can have this large strategy and this all omnipresent idea, but we'd like to start small. We call it the UX bootcamp, close connected to a strategy phase, and bring the strategy to life. That can be in a prototype, it can be in a demo, it can be in a video or animation, to bring concepts to life and to bring them to the market in an early stage in the process.
Okay, so you're trying to develop in a really agile way as a
and to learn from that and to have early access to the end users to see if it works and how we can improve on an initial idea.
Is it a strategy you're also using at eFocus?
Yeah, so I think digital natives, we work with a lot of people from, they're about 30 years old, so they're very used to gathering data from the internet, from all different places, get insights and then make stuff in a small way, so make a prototype or whatever, and test it out there. So we're not the agencies with large egos presenting stuff on the mirrors of their ego.
Right, because I can imagine a lot of people who are not working in the industry are still thinking it's like a madman style. You give a great pitch, the whole campaign is ready, and then you get
traditional agencies always talk about the big idea, and I've never understand that concept of a big idea. So I think there are small ideas getting bigger all the time.
You're getting used to just being touched at random moments, right?
So we're used to small ideas getting bigger all the time.
And does it just also happen that you start with a small idea and then you exit with a small idea? Is it? It sounds like you really have to conquer the company you're working with. You have to slowly prove your worth.
Well, it depends. It depends. Sometimes there is a window of opportunity where the big boss says, "I want to compete with whatever, Amazon or Google, and let's go all the way.
That's pretty bold. Yeah.
That's pretty bold. And there are also moments that there's not that much commitment in the boardroom, and then you have to work from bottom up. But both ways have their the good sides and bad sides. It doesn't really matter for me.
Okay. And Franklin, it used to be that agencies just made websites or product pages, and that was it. How is that changing now?
I think now the question from which a project starts is more ambitious. It's about change, basically. I want to change, I want to be more engaging, or I want to really make things more efficient or make better for the users. And also the target as to quantitative goals are far more ambitious nowadays.
Okay.
As to the numbers, but also as I want to become an agile organization. I want to become a data-driven organization. And that's an overlying and an overarching goal that a lot of companies have nowadays as for the entire operation, not only for this app or this website or this new idea of Internet of Things, but really to change as a company.
So they also want, clients also want insights in the consumer data from agencies. They expect you to provide that.
Yeah, definitely from the first moment to have a really solid rationale for the things that you do.
And are you then focusing more on building the tools for that and providing them with ways to make reports?
Well, it's both ways. Some clients want to build up this capability, and then we train them.
Right.
Then we learn to use the tools, but also to configure a tool or a platform.
So you're training employees of the client?
Yeah, that's what we do. But also we deliver the service. And it depends on what is the best fit for a certain project or a certain client. So I think agility also and flexibility for agencies, that's something that's key in this time.
Right. And you also see a lot of agencies these days developing their own tools. So they're making their own CMS and bringing that to the market, or they're making their own analytics tool or social marketing tools. Is it something you believe in, Freek?
No. But it's... So you have those suites. Adobe is one of a suite. They have all different kind of functionalities within the suite. And I think the agency is there to combine best practices. And sometimes you use a suite approach. So you use the complete stack of Adobe, for instance. And sometimes you have to start very small and just use an open source functionality or a product, software product to develop something. But at this moment, I think the biggest agencies, they use best practices and they don't use tools that they've created themselves.
So an agency these days shouldn't waste their energy on building their own tools?
No, but they should focus on figuring out what are the best tools to use.
Yeah, right. And also I think they should focus on innovation with current tools.
Right.
Like using new kinds of techniques, like virtual reality, and then connecting it to existing tools and existing platforms.
We're always challenging those software that we use, because we work on the edge of what is possible and what has to be done. So we use the latest software, and that latest software has to innovate to keep up with the pace that our clients ask.
Okay. And to conclude, is there a future for agencies? Because if I hear you talking about the role of agencies and what they should do, it also sounds a bit like every company should have it in-house. Should have a creative director in-house, should have developers in-house to be really agile, should have their own designers. Are you afraid that the agency at some point may become obsolete, Freek?
No, our work has become more fun since our clients understand digital work more. So there's more than enough work, and I think it challenges us to differentiate, to keep ourselves differentiating. But I think there's still room for people working for different clients. So I work for a beer brand and a coffee brand and very large set of different brands, and with that knowledge I can help specific clients, and that's something that an agency has and an organization doesn't have.
Yeah, especially I think in the new technologies, that you can experiment. You can experiment with your own clients, within your company, work together with the with schools, with universities, to bring those people in, like in areas of virtual reality, augmented reality, Internet of Things. Those are typical things that you as an agency can combine knowledge from different industries and from different clients to deliver better solutions.
So agencies are becoming more like educators and
and also
and bringing skills
you bring
to
skills,
companies.
you bring inspiration, knowledge from different industries that you can combine, but also you can bring the creatives who want to work for different industries, which are people who are really curious about new technology. And I think that's something that agencies can bring, and a new agency like consulting agency like we are can bring also organization capabilities, like learning people to organize in a different way.
Okay.
Can I add some?
Sure.
Well, so I totally agree, but I want to add is that an agency should work like an accelerator. You should work faster and better with an agency than without an agency, and that's why you hire an agency, basically.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I learned a lot about the role of agencies in this conversation. Thank you so much for sharing that knowledge in just a short span of time.